Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I finally got the chance to record the second podcast that we've started here. We're getting better, but on this podcast, I got to interview 7'3 Queen. You guys may know her from Instagram. She's got a cool build going. She's expanding her business. Expect to see her at a lot of shows this year, or this coming next year. So I want you guys to go check this one out. We talk about all sorts of stuff. We talk about the truck scene. We talk about her truck. Once again, we talk about her business. We even answer fan questions. And I put your guys' usernames in here if you ask those questions. And I put the question in there as well. And she answers every single one of those questions that were asked. So I encourage you guys to go check it out. Thanks for watching this. It means a lot. We're going to keep building this and hopefully get it higher and higher and higher.
Of a building, why not? It's got the highest safety rating, Beethoven, right?
Hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Am I slow?
Perfect.
Am I slow?
No. Am I?
No. No, you're
No,
good.
it's pretty clear.
Sweet.
I got my ring light set up, so I'm ready.
Oh, like one of those professional,
It's got a tripod on it. I would suggest it, honestly, because now I don't have to hold it or set it up or anything. I ended up using my phone. I figured it was easier than the iPad.
Oh. So I've got my kitchen chandelier right here. So we just do with what we got for now.
It works. Yeah, it works.
It does. I thought about getting one because I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna need some good picture and obviously I need to add more background, but
I know, that was me. I was like, what is in the background? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's too much white going on for you, isn't there? You need more
Little bit.
black, a little more spooky.
I have my paint can in the back. I'm gonna be painting here soon, making it darker.
Oh, you're painting are you at your house?
Mhm.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
So is that where you work out of?
Yeah, so I work out of it's kind of 3 different locations almost. So 2 are physical and 1 is online. But yeah, I have home office here in my house, and then I also have a home office at it's kind of like a print shop. I have it separate than my home office. But so yeah, we've got two separate locations, but I have someone helping me out at the print shop, so I don't always have to be there, luckily.
So is this print shop something that already existed, and then do you rent a space there, or are you?
Yeah, so right now it's still pretty small. I am in the bedroom of my parents' house, my old bedroom in my parents' house. Yeah, so free rent, but honestly, it's perfect because it's allowed me to figure out how much space I need, different things that I would need to look out for when I'm looking to expand in, I believe, next spring, such as outlets and lighting and all that kind of stuff, ventilation. But it was not already there. It's the room was there, but no, I had to bring all the print shop stuff in and piece it all together.
Right on, right on. Well, for people who don't know who you are, which if they follow me, they probably follow you. This is 7'3 Queen. This is Jordan. She does a little bit of my designs. What she does overall is just a lot of designing truck apparel, business designing, probably just about anything really that would you can
automotive
smack on a t-shirt.
In general.
Okay. Have you been asked to do any different kinds of I don't know, if there's a company that wants to sell garage doors, would you do could you do something for them? Okay, because I've had people ask me hey, who did your truck design for the county fair? And I was like, oh, she lives down in Florida,
but she's definitely worth it if you're really looking to have something pop off the page and catch someone's attention. So yeah, I didn't know that as far as like beyond automotive. I was safe saying automotive, but I was like, she'd probably do something else too.
I like to stick with automotive. I think it's easiest. It's what I know best. I don't know anything about garage doors with your example. So it's a little bit harder when you're not in that field to come up with, unique ideas that other people haven't done. So I definitely would say automotive is like my strong suit. But yeah, I could do relatively anything. Like today, I'm actually working on a dog rescue design. So pretty fun, pretty easy, but definitely not automotive.
Do you see that your business expanding into that in any type of way outside of automotive?
So I'd like to probably stick to the automotive like world or realm, whatever you would like to call it, for the most part. But as far as expansion, I want to expand the print shop as much as I can. It's already kind of doing it on its own without us having to plan for that, which is awesome. But yeah, we're looking to offer just like bulk apparel for really anybody, even if they didn't come to us for design work.
So wait a minute. I think we talked. Okay, yeah, I texted you and asked if you were at the Jamboree this year. And you were like, no, maybe next year. And then you're like, we're going to start traveling next year. So you are where you are right now. What does Drop Hammer Designs look like in 16 months from now?
Yeah, that's a scary question. I don't even know what it's gonna look like in 6 days, honestly. There's so many changes going on. It's getting kind of crazy. Music City Showdown, which is a show that I'm a part of pretty heavily, we actually decided that we're gonna be kind of doing a lot more t-shirt designs in general. And so he's opened me up to a lot of more graphics with the show itself. And that's kind of tied me into doing graphics for other shows as well, such as Panama City, which I'm super, super excited for next year. So yeah, as far as show coverage, I think that's going to be something that's going to be much more focused within the next 16 months. I'd really like to get my foot in the door with, almost every major show,
right,
as far as like apparel printing, flyer design, that kind of stuff, and maybe step away from the personal commissions just a little bit, not completely, but yeah, just get a little bit more up in that like corporate business, partnership rather than just like small anniversary gift kind of stuff.
Right. Something that's more guaranteed, to keep coming.
Stronger. Yep.
Right on. Right on. So you plan on traveling for your business. Is the truck traveling too?
Yes, that is another really big thing that has been in the works. The truck's kind of been on the back burner, like not really, but sort of the past year, honestly. It hasn't gone to any shows since Daytona of 2021. There was like a little bit of issues trying to get to the show, and I was like, it's not going. I don't know if can I say that? But yeah, it's not going, and that.
For God's sake, Harry, what is with this language?
Kind of like put a little pause on it. But we have a lift that is going to be in the works, Dude's Fab Shop, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about. So I'm super, super excited about that. And it kind of puts me guaranteed into having to bring it to Panama City as well. So Panama City, Music City, I'm skipping LST next year, unfortunately, and I may go to Florida Truck Meet. But yeah, it's going to be much more seen than it has been the past few years, like it was from the start.
So yeah, that's kind of how like I saw. So are you going with so he's Dude Lovejoy, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he's gonna have the blueprints on all that and get it up. And are you going up higher?
Not too much. No, okay. I am 5 foot, so I'm already falling out of the truck to begin with. Of course, his whole scheme is he wants the bigger the better, the bigger the lift, the happier Dude is. So I'm trying to, convince him into staying relatively where I'm at, if not maybe 8-inch, because it's really only a 6-inch lift right now, 6 to 7. It's goofy because it's not like a lift kit, But yeah, I'm gonna be staying around where I'm at, but it's gonna be a different look than what it is now. Paint's not changing though.
Okay.
But tires, wheels, lift, everything else.
So are you gonna go with the Super Duty coil swap in the front?
Yep. I've actually had the axles for like 6 months now. And that's
Okay.
kind of what's been a part of the back burner. Yeah, just kind of waiting on the best time to haul it up to Ohio, get everything taken care of. I mean, tires have been on back order. I'm looking at Swampers since July. So, and they've been pushed back twice. So that
Oh,
kind of prevents a lot of things.
mm. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited because I think you put boggers on for like a split second to
No, so when I got the truck, it was on 16s and Mickey Thompsons,
yeah,
or the wheels were Mickey Thompsons. It was on Toyos, and it was a pretty old school, clean plastic look. And so I think for April Fool's Day, like last year or something, I posted a picture of it, like an old photo of it on the wheels and tires. But it's gonna be similar to that setup, but not as old school farm truck.
right.
More of like, what the fuck is she doing? But it still looks really good.
Yeah. No, of course. No, I think it's really important because like last year I was at the Jamboree and I was driving around. Of course, I've got this lift kit with the twin IB axle on it. And I'm like, I want to kind of create a triangle of first class OBS. And how am I going to do that? You kind of have to build everything at the same time. And I think what you have a pretty good triangle of what you have. I mean, you've got you are your image on your, fiery red hair, obsessed with Halloween black, tatted up. I mean, you may be small, but nobody can miss you. So like, there's the one piece of the triangle. Yeah. So then you've got your business, and that's another piece of your triangle. And then you've got your truck. So like all of those go together. And it's kind of like Gabe Farrell. Like he's
Right.
got something off to the side, but you know who he is when he pulls in.
Yeah.
Uh, Freed was that way too. You can't miss the stacks. What is it that's going to put a pinpoint when people say that's who that is? And you've got that triangle going on, and that's what I thought about. I was like, I have to Super Duty swap this F-150. I think
Dude.
that's going to help a little bit. It's still, like you said, kind of on the back order. I'm kind of on the back order with this one, trying to figure out what engine I want to put in here to push this
It's
Super
tough.
Duty axle. It
I
is.
think,
It is.
yeah, I think a really difficult part too, and I'm glad that we're talking about this now because I don't really think it's talked about too much. But a big problem that it has, like, I guess I could say I relate to it. The show industry pushes people and companies in general to just push out a build, as fast as you can, as quick as you can to get it to that show or whatever, regardless of the quality. And I'm trying to really not let that affect my truck. And I think you should do the same too. If it misses a show, who cares? It'll be at the next one. I think
Right.
quality needs to start being pushed harder. I think we've kind of lost that in this industry a little bit.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Plus, I think like if you can keep it on the weight, like you're just building that. I don't
Right.
know. You're building the hype up, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it's like when you're waiting for a season like Outer Banks to come out. Like everybody's waiting on Outer Banks,
Yep.
but you don't want to forget about it. I don't know. You kind of just want to push it a little bit, and then when it comes out, it's like it's the thing. Um, so no, I
Yeah.
totally agree
I
with
think
what you're saying.
if it's done at the right rate, I think it could be more well worth it than it just being rushed.
Right.
So yeah, and I personally like seeing the build progress as well. I'm excited to be able to start posting my own, and I'm excited to start seeing yours too. I think that's a lot of the parts that people forget to post too is kind of like the middle grounds. Everyone just kind of focuses on here's the before. I can't wait to show everybody the after, and they're not thinking like, hey, maybe they would be interested in seeing how we're doing this, what our process is like, issues we've ran into. Everyone's so focused on having the biggest and baddest truck, they kind of forget the influential part, which is why so many people follow others, social media wise, that, yeah, they forget to do that. And I think that should be done more.
Right. And that's like a lot. I had you bring up a good point, like that process in between, and like, are you enjoying that process? I
Right.
think that's like the biggest part. And you can definitely understand that with your business and your truck, that process that you enjoy. Like not every day's fun. Not every
No.
day's easy. But you just got to keep going. You got to keep waking up. And especially as an entrepreneur, you by yourself, like if you want to, you can wake up at 1 p.m. But
Yeah.
the drive tells you to get up at 7 and go. Grab
Yep.
that heart attack juice and go. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah. I don't even, what is that?
I've actually never had this one. It is Blue Raspberry Sour Patch Kids Ghost. It's a little tart. I don't suggest a straw. It's a little, yeah, it's a little tart, but it's good. It does the job.
Yeah, I
But no,
reckon.
exactly. Yeah, having the ability to wake up and, be your own boss it's honestly way harder than getting up and going to work for somebody else and having somebody tell you what to do and you going home at 5 or 6 o'clock. Like everyone thinks that, having your own thing is such a privilege. And while it is, the responsibility is tough. So,
Right.
so yeah.
Some people are cut out for the 9 to 5 and some people aren't. And I think what's really terrible about like our generation is everyone's like, you need to be your own boss. You need to be your own boss. Well, not everyone's cut out to be their own boss,
Right.
which is
Right.
terrible. Some people are just made to work a 9 to 5 and create a lifestyle where they're happy. And then some people are just creators and that's what they need to do. And they need to be the innovators.
Yeah.
But back to like that, enjoying that process. I had a kid. I posted his truck last night, and we got to talking. He just was like really appreciative of the post. I guess he was a really young kid. I didn't know that, and he was really appreciative and telling me what he was about to do and the process that he was going through. And I was like, well, dude, don't lose that love for that process. Keep
No doubt.
driving as long as you want to drive. Don't do it to impress someone else. Because if you're
Right.
doing it to impress someone else, you are going to be unhappy with the end result. You're going to love it for a second and then be out.
Definitely.
So
Yep. And
I encourage that.
yeah, a lot of kids, they get in their head too, all the comments and shit, people saying, oh, it doesn't matter that you put so much time into it. It's a Ford Ranger or it's this or it's that. And yeah, it kind of would suck if you put so much time into it and you have all that drive and then you're just letting those people get to you. So yeah, I'm glad that you
Absolutely.
posted that, kid. That'll probably help him, kick out some of those negative comments if he gets any. So that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I get very caught up in, not caught up, but I get disappointed in seeing people, especially when they'll go out and buy like a 2020 truck that they can't really afford. They can make the payment, but they're trying to impress. What there's a quote that goes with that they're buying things they don't need to impress people they don't like.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I get so irritated with that. I'm like, do you really love it? Are people making fun of it? But do you enjoy driving it? Do you enjoy the process with it? Uh, I think we need to bring ourselves back to that in this truck industry a little bit, especially in
So
the
much.
blue collar.
So yeah.
So
Yeah, if you take a look at other industries too, and even in like the truck scene, take a look at the lift or the lower truck industry or the low like I don't know, low, yeah. I'm talking when I say low riders, kind of like the car side of the industry rather than the trucks, but both work. There's no skipping and cutting certain parts of it. There's full quality, effort, patience into every single part of those builds. And yeah, I don't really see that like at all in our industry. And it sucks, but I feel like a part of me that wants to just kind of like not get away from it and go into like another industry, but I've kind of found almost like an influence to try to spread that word a little bit because no one's really talking about that. They're just talking about what did you do to yours and how do I do that to mine? And that looks so cool. I want to look so cool. Not, hey, I bet that felt really fucking cool to do. Are you proud of it? No one says that, and
yeah,
that's weird
yeah,
almost.
yeah.
So
No, absolutely, absolutely. Nobody ever asked that question, and I
yeah.
think it's kind of it's kind of sad, and I think there's why you see a lot of turnover in that world. Um, I see a lot of turnover in the truck world that's like more of like the world we're in, as far as people going in and out. And I
Yeah.
see people that are, stuck in it with like the old Mustangs that are in the 60s and the Camaros. Like those guys stick around with it forever. And the guys that have the low riders that, the slam trucks that you were just talking about, those
Yeah.
guys stick with it because there's obviously more of a love there that they're doing, and you can see it in the work that they do to these cars. I mean,
Oh,
all
for
of
sure.
them are flawless. They make the truck world look trash. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just kind of sad to see that a little bit. But
I think it's got a lot to do with our age too.
yeah,
And
it does. It does.
yeah, the lifted truck industry is so young itself too.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's keeping up with the Joneses a little bit and not really falling in love with what you have. And I don't know. You see a lot of it. And media plays a huge role.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
social media is like best and worst thing to ever happen to some people, for
For
sure.
sure. Yeah. And it's I don't know. It's if you go and look at somebody's build that it blows up on like TikTok or something, and then you hit the comments and just go scroll through them, and like you see a little love, and then you see a lot of hate, and a little love, and a lot of hate, and it's just people can hide behind the camera, and then that influences this kid's head that's maybe not secure in how they feel or how they think, and I think yeah, media is great, but media is bad
Yeah, I
in
think
this.
it takes a special person too. You almost, and it's funny because my mom is trying to get into social media a little bit with her own like new side business that she's got going, and she's like, Jordan, I'm scared. Like, I'm nervous. Like, I did not grow up with social media. I don't feel comfortable even like commenting. And so I know that not all of the mean comments are coming from kids, but the high percentage of them is. But yeah, no, I just kind of had to tell her like you have to be almost prepared to just accept it and ignore it, because if you don't, it's just self sabotage, and it's not going to do anything good for you.
Right. I can't wait for this kind of podcast stuff to kind of get moving. And I have to prepare myself for probably some stuff that's going to come across, but it is what it is. I'm sure I kind of want to move into that a little bit. The media talk, like it is, it's a love hate relationship. Like how important is it for you in your media? Like I've seen you grow from probably 20,000 on up to you're like 50s now, somewhere
Yeah,
around
it's
there.
like, yeah, the Instagram is getting a little overwhelming, honestly. It's kind of blown up on myself as well. But yeah, I'm at around like 51K, I think, right now. And TikTok is also like getting insane. I think I'm at like 240 or something like that. But as far as how strong it plays a role in what I do, whoa, yeah, it plays a significant role. I truly could not do what I do, have the connections that I have with the people that I have connections with, or really anything, without advertising on TikTok solely. And I try to push that to almost every single person I know with a small business. But yeah, I think TikTok is probably the best for marketing. And I think Instagram is the best for just kind of like showing what you're about. I think if you worry too much about, how many likes you're going to get on Instagram with the way that the algorithm is right now, it's just going to screw with your head. So, but no, huge role for sure.
Yeah, it's funny you talked about kind of like the followers you're at now and then what you were and what you're at now. And me and Seth, the last podcast I had, I don't know if you watched that or not, but we mentioned you in that because he was talking about kind of his come up and him starting to take pictures and media. Uh, and I think like you were probably you had a photo shoot down in Daytona.
Yes,
Um,
it was like iconic in my mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He said, I mean, he talked about that photo shoot in Daytona, and I think this is one that he took. Yes or no?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I love that one. I have a video of him making that, like how he made that light situation, which makes me realize I don't think I ever posted that photo.
Oh, you did. I stole it off your page.
I did? Okay, good. From a long time ago. I think that was 2020. But yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about like that and the media and the networking, and he brought you up, and I was like, he goes, I don't know if you know who 7-3 Queen is, and I was like, I do. And funny story about her. Probably when I started this page, I was probably around like 1,000 followers or something. And we're the same age, I'm pretty sure. Are you 23, 24?
23. No,
Okay.
wait, no, I'm 21. I forget.
No, I get that. I get that. But I remember when this page was super small and it was like 1,000 followers, and I was just like going through the hashtags of OBS trucks, and I saw yours, and I was like, that thing's freaking sweet. And I remember DMing you and asking if I could post your truck, and I did. And well, you were like, oh yeah, of course. And ever since then, I felt like it was just no looking back from there. Like now we're up
So
to,
cool. You felt like that with your page? I never knew that.
that I posted that. Well, at the time it was Beautiful OBSs,
Right.
and it was a god awful name. Glad we got rid of it.
First guess is better, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to. I took like a month to try to figure out what I wanted to change it to, because I was like, I got Beautiful OBSs, like OBS Obsession's cool, but there's about 25 accounts that say OBS Obsession. I was like, what's like something that shows, I don't know, something cool, or like a high, like
Like a
King
high level
OBS.
almost. Yeah, like a higher tier, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, a tier. And I was like, first class. I mean, that'll kick. So then I started using that. I changed the username, and I even had people like say, "Hey, this is a cool username." And then I knew it was good whenever people started mocking my account
Right.
to
Yeah.
use it. Yeah, that's when you know you've made it. Whenever people start making spam accounts of your account or using your usernames or whatever. So that was the push. And then I think I had Beautiful OBSs, and then posted your truck, and I think it was like my first 1,000 like truck. I remember that. I remember that because I was at my sophomore year. I was at a college basketball game. There was like 15 minutes before the game starts. I look at my phone, hit 1,000 likes, and I was like more excited about that than the game that was like about to play. But yeah,
That's so cool. No, I
it,
don't think you've ever told me that.
no, I don't. Well, that was 4 years ago. Yeah, lots changed in 4 years. So
No joke.
yeah, the expansion and the media, like the media just takes over, and you have to be on top of your media game. You can't stay outdated.
No, and it's changing like every single day. Like with the whole Instagram to Reels thing, like
Yeah.
which I feel like that's gonna go back. I do. I
Mhm.
feel like with enough people protesting it and just like not giving in, I feel like they're gonna be like, all right, well, we need to give them back what they want, or people are gonna stop using our app. So
Right.
fingers happens, but
Yeah, people are gonna push over to TikTok, and
yeah.
but so speaking of TikTok, you remember when we talked about monetization and the creator fund? This was probably a year and a half ago. I was like, yo, are you in the creator fund? And you're like, yeah. And I was like, how's it doing for you? And you're like, it's okay. But do you feel like you were kind of shadow banned when you started the creator fund?
You know, there's a lot of talk around that, and if the creator fund shadow bans in general. And what I have found is I can't. No, I don't think I was shadow banned when I first got in the creator fund. I think what happens is you start to realize what your audience wants the most, and for me, I've noticed that they really eat up when I'm like talking and just being interactive. And not to like get into that, but I've noticed that by the way, is the most effective way for a following to grow, is to be someone that's relatable and just doing everyday things for people to be like, oh yeah, like this is interesting. But anyways, no, I don't feel like I was shadow banned, but I have noticed if I do post videos that aren't as interactive and kind of more like singing, dancing, that kind of shit, it totally flops.
Yeah.
So I think when people are like, oh, I'm shadow banned or no one's seeing my stuff, they're not like really grasping what their audience wants to see. They're not looking into it. They're not paying attention to it. And so they don't put a second thought to it. So they continue to post things that, no, I don't want to say no one, but who follows them doesn't want to see. So it will give that illusion of shadow ban in my, that's kind of like figured out, but
yeah, no, I agree. It's because first second they're like, and I think it took TikTok a second to like get their algorithms corrected. Because like when the app first came out, like the first year, I was posting stuff. I was running about 10,000 followers a day there for a minute on TikTok. Hit 93,000 followers and haven't moved in probably about 460 days on my following. Now I don't post a lot on there, and it's really hard for me to post anything because like I feature. I don't get in front of the camera and show a whole lot of how to. But that's something I've noticed that I've got to start doing. You know, you got to stay ahead of the social media game. And you, like you said, if you're not interacting, you're not showing different things, you're not going to move very well.
Yeah, they want your face in it. As uncomfortable as it is, they want to see your face, they want to see you talking. I personally hate it. It makes me so nervous to put, your raw personality out on the internet. It's got to be one of the scariest things. And especially with, the mouth that some of these people have behind the keyboards. But no, I think if you do that, and I think if you kind of make, either your face or someone else the face of the company, I think that's going to be the best solution for you as far as getting out of that, shadow ban rut. Yeah, and posting more consistently too.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot. I've tried to like read the analytics and stuff, and especially for YouTube, like I'm trying to push over to YouTube a little bit, and it's going to be slow. And it's hard to. Oh, we got 10 minutes, and then we'll have like a TV timeout.
Okay.
And we can go back because I'm too cheap to do the upgrade on Zoom. But what was I talking about? I forget what I was talking about. I know it was on TikTok stuff.
Yeah, just like talk in general, just how difficult it is to stay consistent. Oh no, you were talking about getting into YouTube and figuring out the different, analytics with YouTube.
Yes, and I like being like trying to create a podcast that's within automotive influential people in the automotive industry. Like that's what I'm trying to push into. Like I don't just want to do OBS people, because to be completely honest, if I was to interview everyone that had a cool build, it would be the same story every single time.
Right.
Like and not everyone can just have the money and make the build happen. So my goal is to get these people lined up that are inspirational, that are making things happen, to start build their dreams.
I have an idea. Okay. So as like a viewer, I personally would think this would be super cool. And as a business owner, I think this would be something that would be very easy for you to follow. What if you try to do like once a week, build highlight? So that means anyone that's doing, triple turbo, something cool. It couldn't just be like, I'm replacing my fender on, my F-150 or something. Like something a little different, I guess. That would, have to grab some attention. Maybe you could get a list of people that have a build going. You reach out to each of them individually and see, what they're in the middle of doing. And if they'd be willing to kind of like talk about what they're doing, the issues they've ran into, things they wish they knew before they started, and maybe if they would do it all again. And I feel like that would be something new every week, interesting, and it would kind of tie in that whole like process part that I feel like this industry just fucking blows over. Everyone just wants to see the end rendering,
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
No, that would be. It'd be tough to do it because I'm such like an in-person talker. Now they could like walk around with their phone and get in where they, show around and whatnot. But no, I totally agree with you. Like that process of just like this week's check-ins, like we line up all these people. They say, hey, I'm doing a build. Stupid stuff. I'm doing a build, and there's, we're doing this, and this person's doing this, and this. You get like 10 people. You just go check in with them once a week.
Yeah.
And they say, we've made it this far. and we've built this and we added this, and well, we can't do this because this was in the way.
Yeah.
No, I think that would be a cool idea. It could be like a TV show.
Almost, yeah. You'd be like the intro, like the host, like Ryan Seacrest, American Idol. And you're like, all right, today, guys, we're checking back in with Fred, who's, putting the bed on his new F-100, or not new, the new bed on his F-100.
Right.
And then, yeah, be something different every week. That way it's not too repetitive, but the same concept.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that could be something I get to. I think I've got to practice what I'm doing here first, because I went back and watched the Seth podcast with Seth, and I was like, dang, there's some moments where you're just like, ooh, I talked too much there, or I shouldn't have said that, or and I'm sure you understand completely.
I way with myself, so yeah, I do.
Yeah, other people don't notice, but you do, and you're like, how can I be better? And I think that's how I look at it. I'm like, how can I be better?
And it's just doing it, honestly.
It is.
Repetitively and trying to improve each time. I think that's the key part of it too.
It is. Well, I've got about 5 minutes left on this one. What I'm gonna do is, in this one,
I
think what I want to do is, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, cool. I think what I want to do between that split second and then back to where we are now is do one of those perverted Ford commercials.
Okay, I'll try to follow.
You ever seen those? They're
is it like
that's
the
how-
TikTok audio where it's like, do you drive a Ford F-150? Yeah, that'd be funny.
You ever slapped your mother and then woke up next to your dad the next morning? That's how it feels to drive a Ford F-150. We probably won't put that in there, but would be. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so let's do some truck questions, I guess. Give the people what they want to hear.
Yeah. So actually, I'm the first fan, and I've got a question. What are the reactions like when a guy finds out that behind the 5% tint window there's a 5-foot redhead sitting next to them in traffic?
Surprised. Yeah, surprised to say the least. I get some very, very funny looks at gas stations or O'Reilly's, wherever you want to call it, Yeah, no, it's pretty funny. But I do have to say that I get pretty lucky with having, and I mentioned this to you before, everyone's always super respectful. And I don't know if it's just because it's an older classic truck, and if there would be a difference if it was a newer platinum or something. But no, all the dudes are super respectful about it, and I think that's pretty cool.
I bet it's because your truck's so far advanced. Okay, maybe to you it's not advanced, but from the outside looking in,
it's a hunk.
yeah, from the outside looking in, it's probably you're so far advanced. They're someone didn't just buy her that. She actually cares and she's putting in the time, and they probably
Right.
see that and are definitely not going to make fun of whatever's going on here.
Whatever their reasoning is, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So I'm even going to use their usernames because I think it's kind of funny. Actually, not for all.
I do too.
We have Alaska Redneck 35. What's the fastest you've ever went in the 7.3 IDI?
A big old whopping 85, baby. Yeah, and I think it topped out at 85. I want to say the speedometer only goes to 95. And once it hits 85, it's just kind of all right, we can't get any more. But yeah, I was probably en route to Daytona or something. That's really the farthest I've taken, in about 4.5 hours away. And yeah, 75.
75. There you go, Alaskan Redneck. Okay. So we got, I think it's Elena B.
Yes. Oh, I love Elena.
You do? Okay.
I do. Yes.
Well, I meant her. I guess
Yeah.
you love
Yeah,
her.
no,
I'm not questioning your love for her.
Yeah, we're in this OBS girls group chat. She's one of the girls in it. She's really cool.
Oh, and that's another question I gotta ask you later. But continuing, Elena B asked, "Did you finish med school, or are we trucking full time now?" Also, I love you.
Yeah, we're trucking full time. Yeah, so many people don't know because it's really just not something that comes up to talk about. But I don't know if you can even see it. This little piece of paper back here is my diploma, and yeah, I did go to college for something so unrelated to what I'm doing now.
Wouldn't it
And the
like
plan,
psychology?
yes, actually, yep. Yep. So the whole plan was to go to med school. I of course was always going to stay in like the truck industry, but I knew it wasn't really anything that I could like make a job out of. And when I was in high school, graduating, like on my way to college, social media wasn't really like a job for many people like it is now. So yeah, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get myself a real career. And I was gonna get a psychology degree, which I ended up getting, and then going to med school. But I think it was 2021. When did COVID start? 21, right? Yeah,
2020.
definitely. Was it
21.
2020?
Is it 22 right now?
It's 22 right now. I know that. But okay, no, I think you're right. I think COVID did start in 2020. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was a senior then, and I was getting ready to graduate, and almost every single possible thing that you would need to do to move on to med school was impossible to get scheduled. You know, professors didn't want to only wanted to do like Zoom meetings. You couldn't tour schools. MCAT prep testing was just ridiculous because it was only either online or super, super limited. And so it kind of just put me in a position to where I was like, okay, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait a year. I'm going to graduate and I'm going to apply next year once the world is back to normal. And little did anybody know that it was never really going to go back to normal. We're kind of there now, I guess. But yeah, so there was that break. And during that break, when I was graduating, I was kind of having a really hard time balancing work, school, and my business. So I decided to quit my part-time job. I did a couple different things. I worked at a gym and I also did medical billing. And I started to do DHC full time. And then once I graduated, I had nothing better to do than just go full send with DHC. And it kind of just overtook to where I was like, if I could, and I'm not making the same amount of money as a doctor. Don't take that. But I had that mindset of if I can make the same amount of money as the job I wanted to do and have that availability and not have to have that stress, have my own schedule, all the good stuff that comes with being a business owner, I'd probably be happier doing that. And so I just told myself I can always go back to school if I change my mind. But I don't think that's happening.
There it is. Make a living off your passion.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets to do that. Okay. So we've got, I think it's YOLO _8 with a W. It's YOLO with a W.
YOLO.
Did you build your truck yourself, or did you have someone help you?
I had some help. Yeah. And I also don't talk about this too much, but it just doesn't really come up. I never really grew up with a shop. My dad doesn't have a shop. My papa never had a shop. And I had a lot of like guy friends that had shops, but that shit gets old, when you're like, hey, can I use your bay? Da, da, da. So yeah, no, I outsourced everything. I had actually gone to a local place, Bulldog Customs, little shout out. And he's amazing. Only mechanic I really let touch my truck aside from a couple others for the whole 8 years I've had it. And yeah, so that's who did the work. But yeah, I can't do anything else really myself. I draw, I don't design with kits.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. Nobody ever does it on their own. I just want to throw that out there. Nobody ever does it on their own.
And if they do, then they're kind of cutting themselves in the build short. You can't have the best quality build if every part of it you don't really know how to do. I wanted to make sure it was done right. I did it myself when I was in high school as much as I could, and I fucked a lot of shit up. So I kind of learned that it's not always the best way to just do it yourself.
Right. No, 100%. 100%. And you will. You're right. You will mess a lot of things up if you try to. Okay, we're gonna put this guy on spot here. Sage Painter Sage underscore Painter. I could spell it out, but I'll leave the people hanging so we don't expose you too much. His question was single? Question mark.
No, I am not single and I am not mingling. I post my boyfriend, I feel like, so much, but I guess no one's ever looking at the stories when he's on there or something. I don't know. No, yeah, I've been with my boyfriend Brock for going on 2 years coming up this January.
Didn't you guys just go on a vacation or something?
Kinda. We go to Ohio where his family's from and a lot of our friends very, very often. So it's probably what it seems like, but just visiting.
Well, you hear that, Sage? Not single, buddy. Okay, next one. Lucy underscore Lou 432. How did you start your business? I think we kind of covered that a little bit.
A little bit. I can do like a super quick recap though if you want.
Yeah, throw it in.
Yeah, so all right, long story short, first sale, just to start the timeline, November 13th, 2018. So if anyone is like, oh my God, you blew up, how did you do it all so fast? Da, 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 like, y'all just weren't there. You just didn't know, you know? But yeah, super long story short, I've always loved Photoshop, drawing. I was in art in high school. I've just been always like a really creative person. I was photoshopping different paint jobs onto my own truck and my friends' trucks. Word got out. I had a whole bunch of people, hey, Photoshop my truck this color, and I want to see what it would look like with cab lights and these wheels and whatever. And so I was doing that while I was in college as a little bit of a side hustle. Someone asked me to put their truck on a shirt. I said, I'll find a way. I found a way, and that's kind of what started the never-ending requests, which is now put me, I think I'm booking out for November now, so. So we're getting there.
It's crazy how it's just a little thing that happens and then.
Yeah, hold on, I'm like tearing up, 1 second.
Oh, it's okay. It can get emotional. I understand.
Oh yeah, I'm weeping. Okay.
Okay, so not even, maybe it's Psy underscore FX. How much did the total build cost? Sick OBS, by the way, especially that paint. 100 fire emoji.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so I put some numbers together before we got on the call just because I did want to be able to provide like some actual concrete numbers. As far as the exterior goes, never ending. I've got OBS axle or Super Duty axles in my yard right now that I'm trying to put under. So we're just gonna go off of the interior. So I put together a little list, and I think it came out to about $4,000 for the interior alone. So if that goes to show like any example of how much it costs, I guess, to have the black interior and the custom, you know, headliner and the billet door sills and door handles and wing window handles, that's pretty much the rough estimate. And that was half of it, or not half, but a good chunk of it was done, you know, over the years. So I don't know if those prices are still the same, but so yeah, about $4,000 for the interior. And I'd say for the exterior, I mean, I got my wheels for a kind of a good deal. So I don't even feel like the numbers I'd get for that would be very good. But yeah, we'll do another podcast for the exterior once the build is done. And then I feel like that'll be best.
Yeah, that's honestly one thing I can't wait to do is go back and re-podcast with people. I think that's going to be fun as well. But I think about halfway through. JC, I don't know if that's a girl or a guy. I'm going to say it's a guy. Will you get a 17 plus 6.7 Ford?
Yeah, like if I had to get a newer truck, which I mean, we travel a lot, so I'm actually getting into like the SUVs, so I don't have to worry about like shit getting wet in the bed. And I know you can do like the tonneau covers, but I kind of want an SUV. I don't know. I guess if I had to get a truck, I wouldn't be opposed to getting a 6.7, but I don't know. I know I'm a Ford girl because I've got my OBS, but I would probably get a GMC if I like had to get a new truck, to be honest.
I have that argument a lot with people. They're like, you're a Ford guy. I'm like, but honestly, I think Chevy makes the best motor as of right now. if we're
Right.
talking like 2000s plus.
Yeah.
I think Chevy dominates the game. I'm gonna get a lot of hate, but
It's okay. I think they've all the different brands have their strong suits. You know, like some of the builds during some of the years were shit when the others were great, and vice versa. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think anyone that's like Ford only or Chevy only is just you're too
Ignorant.
close-minded. Open up your options.
Right. There's a thing for every job. I mean, if you're looking for interior comfortability, you're looking at probably like, honestly, I think Dodge probably has it on wraps right now, and
Yeah,
Ford
they're nice. Yeah.
between those
Well, the
two.
new Fords, like like the 22s and the 23 Fords, those are the interior is definitely super nice. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought about what I would get if I would get a new truck, to be honest. But that's a good question.
Right. I think there's all sorts of whatevers for everything, and I think they all have different capabilities as far as what you're looking for. I mean, if you're looking for luxurious, you're probably going to go for a Ford with the interior. If you're looking for something that's just going to last longer, you're probably looking at Chevy. And like I said, that's 2000s plus. So don't get your panties in a wad, people. TCJ underscore 5280 underscore cricket. He said, I'm gonna guess that he said, every time I say he or she, my Siri pops up and is ready to answer a question. Oh, sorry, but they said, no question, I'm just in love with you.
I'm just in love with you.
Oh, I hope you're watching this. TCJ 73 Queen is in love with you. Okay. Jaden, these are some of mine. Jaden 73 asked, "Do you ever wish your truck was a crew cab or extended cab?"
Yes, not an extended cab. And if it was a crew cab, I wouldn't want it to be a long bed. But so I guess there's some choices I'd have to make there. As far as me not wanting to be a single cab every single day of my life, yeah, not having any room, there's no fun behind that. There's really no benefit of having a single cab other than having a long bed and not being like a boat. But other than that, yeah, no, there's no benefit of it. So definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
Will not be a single cab. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Because like I'm single cab game too, and it's just like you want. So like if I were going to a truck show and I was gonna like bring some apparel to sell, it's just like where do I put it? If it
All on
rains.
the bed. Yeah. And then, yeah. I know I'm looking at getting a tonneau cover for that reason because I'm sick of putting stuff in the bed and it's in the driveway right now. So if it's dropping leaves or whatever, the whole bed fills up with leaves. So yeah, definitely would suggest it.
Yeah, I've thought about just getting another OBS to do it with, but at the same time, like this OBS that I have, this was my grandfather's.
That's so cool though. Yeah, no, the
Yeah.
sentimental value was awesome.
Oh, it's awesome. Oh, the best part. So he passed away in 06, but he passed away when he was like, I wouldn't say super young. He was, I think, 66 or 63. I can't remember off the
Yeah.
top of my head. But definitely young for an older guy out here. And it's funny because I'll like be around a lot of people that were his age. Those people are now in their 70s, and those people are in their 70s now. So whenever I'll like drive around and see those people that were his friends, like they have no idea that was the old white truck that he had at the farm. Yeah. So they'll be like, how are you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. And we'll chat it up, and somehow, some way they'll ask about the truck or something. I'll be like, yeah, that's Warren's. They're like, that's not Warren's. I was like, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Best believe it is.
Yep.
That's
it's just,
awesome.
It is cool. And just like see their faces and be like, no way. Like that thing's because it's 2-wheel drive. It's been 2-wheel drive. And we're working on that. Now that we've got the Super Duty axle on the front, we're gonna unbluetooth the front end here soon and hook everything up. But I think we need to go with a bigger motor. I just don't feel like a 302 can. It pushes it just fine, like highway speeds, all that. It drives just perfectly fine. But to like haul my boat with it and stuff, and
Right.
do
It's
little
not enough.
fun things. Yeah, and just I'd like to kind of race it a little bit here and there in like dirt drags. Just make it more of like a street fun truck. It doesn't have to be super
It's
fast, but
cool.
definitely have like a little bit of a push behind it. So yeah, I just had to share that.
No, I think that's super cool. And I think it's also a pretty good sign if they can't even recognize it, that you've done a lot of really good work to it. So that's also a plus.
Yeah, definitely. But like that's the hard part is like how far do you go without changing it completely? When I got it, it was white and spray painted. It's still white and spray painted. And then I've done like a lot of body work to it. So it used to have rust holes into it and everything. And I don't know if I want to paint this thing or not, or just clean it to where it has no dents, no rust, and just keep that like ugly, beefy spray paint look to it, and then just underbody make everything clean. Yeah. I'm trying to think of like somebody who didn't Dude Lovejoy have like a pretty rough looking truck, but had immaculate under something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing that panel van at Daytona. That was actually the first Daytona that we had gotten acquainted, I guess you could say. And I remember seeing it in the hostile booth going up, and I was like, holy shit, there's a full hole through the fender? Like, what's going on? And this is good. They're like, yeah, put it in the show. But yeah, no, I think if you guys should clear coat it, I think that'd be a really cool way. Clear coat's not even forever too. That's eventually going to come off, and you'll have to redecide then at that moment what you'll do. But yeah, maybe focus on the underneath of it, focus on everything else, maybe the interior. You could keep it stock, but just keep it or make it like clean again,
Yeah, I will say it is like for the most part, the interior is there's no cracks. It's pretty much flawless in the interior except for the bench seat. The bench seat's starting to get away, but I think that's something. It's not too far gone. I think I can fix it, but I'm also like leaning on the fence of King ranching it out. I just don't.
You could, yeah, no, you definitely could. What's the rest of the colors that you're working with? Because you could always do platinum too.
It's like ugly blue, like a dark blue. That's pretty much all. It's literally dark blue all the way around with black trims.
Okay. Yeah, look into the platinum seats. I think like a 2015 F-150 Platinum fits pretty good in the OBS is what I've heard. I remember I took some screenshots a few years ago when I first seen it. And that was going to be my plan. But yeah, that would look clean too.
I think so. I think it'd just be comfortable. Like I said, I just want something I can cruise in. I want it to be a show truck, but like I'm not keeping it in the barn all year long and then just pulling it out for shows. Like I'm putting it to work. I'm pulling a boat. I'm, going to church, family reunions, all that kind of stuff. Like I'm taking that truck. It's the weekender, I guess.
Right. Yeah, no, that's kind of where mine's at too. Yeah, like I would love to have it show quality from, every single wire to bolt, but it's just not really practical right now. Maybe in the next few years we'll get that level.
Until I can find something that would substitute it, that would be like something I enjoy driving as well, that I can beat on, then it'll never just be a show truck. It'll just be whatever I want it to be.
It'll have its time actually.
It will. Look, I've got like three more questions. No, double screenshot. Okay. But yeah, three more. We have Devent_Smith. This is kind of an odd question. Which state do you prefer driving in, Tennessee or Indiana?
That's funny. Yeah, that is a very specific question, but I actually have an answer for that, surprisingly, and it's a real answer. Tennessee, for sure. I couldn't even tell you where in Tennessee it is, but I drove it many times, and I feel like I think it's got to just be on the interstate. there's this big bridge kind of going into Kentucky, I want to say, from Tennessee. It's massive and it looks like a trestle bridge. And it's like curvy, the road is, and there's like big rocks up on the side. It's so pretty. And I've gone through it every single time we've gone through Tennessee. So I feel like you have to pass through it when you go through, but maybe not. But to answer the question, Tennessee for sure. I haven't even spent much time in Indiana other than I think the Jambo. And I flew in and was kind of just there for the weekend and really didn't get to see much else.
Right. So when you flew in for Jambo, you brought your truck though?
No, I was working for Fury at that time. Yeah, I don't even think I had gone to my first show with DHD yet. And so I was still working, with other companies for the shows. But no, my trucks, oh, hold on one second. I don't know. Can you still see me? My mom's calling me.
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, I'll just let it go. I'll call her back when we're done. But yeah, no, my truck's actually never been out of the state of Florida. I drove it to Daytona, and it's from Georgia, if you want to count that. But no, it has not made it to any out-of-state shows yet. Next year, though, I'm so excited for that.
That'll be fun. And that's one thing I need to start doing. I need to start getting to more shows. It's just it's tough because I love boating, and
you said you love boating or hunting?
Boating, like
yeah.
We're boating during the summer, so it's like really hard to make both work at the same time. But we make it happen.
And you have to enjoy it too, because I've found if you go to a show just to like try to make money, yeah, no, you gotta actually want to be there.
Yeah, no, I will say like hosting my own show is really fun.
I bet. Yeah.
It is definitely something that is fun, and it's something that I wish, like, and I know we've talked about this, like between me, you, and a few other people about like just like all grouping together, finding a median spot, and we've got all these influencers and just blowing something up, and I think we could, but it's the planning behind it that would put in some overtime on us for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know how well you know Corbin with Music City Showdown, but with the designs I made for him for the show, we became pretty good friends, I guess you could say. And he's definitely voiced to me that it is not a job that's cut out for anyone. He's like, dude, I don't even know if this is cut out for me. Like, this is so much more than what I thought it was going to be. There are so many more issues than I could have even imagined. So it's definitely a lot of work and almost like a full-time job if you look at it, but it could be pretty huge revenue if you're doing it right. And if you have the right mindset, I feel like it would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I totally get where he's coming from, because like I remember whenever I first threw the first show that we had, and it was off the hook for like the turnout, the weather that we had. All the above. Like, it takes a toll on you. And I did not know that I had any sort of like anxiety until that time, because I'm not an anxiety person. Like, I've always just been like, what's that?
Right.
Wrong.
Right.
Like, we had the show inside of our grandstands, and which was probably not the greatest idea, because the turnout that we had so many people come that we flooded out. But
That's awesome.
It was awesome. Like, thank God, it was great, and it was a blessing that everyone was there. But we still had like equipment in the grandstands area from the tractor pulls the night before, and it's like 2.5 hours probably until the show starts, and I'm like, okay, we kind of got to move this stuff out of here, and like I'm not allowed to touch any of this stuff. Because they're all contracted with like Caterpillar and stuff like that for our fairgrounds. And then we get like 30 minutes away from start time where we're about to open up the gate. Nothing's still moved. There's about 100 trucks sitting out in the parking lot ready to come in. And I'm sitting there like, this isn't good. This is not good at all. Yeah, this is anxiety. And I was like, this can't happen again. But like everything flowed well. But on your shoulders of just like making sure the show runs great, and you also have to try to be in 100 different places at once. And that's probably the stressful part about it, because like as guys are coming in, I'm dapping them up like, hey, dude, thanks for coming. It means the world. And it does. Like, you have to show that appreciation, or
Oh, yeah.
they're not, I wouldn't say they won't come back, but like they're definitely going to remember how you impacted them in that short second. So like being in 100 places at one time, like, is a real thing during that show. And then like making sure that like your t-shirts move, so that you can make back. And like, I pay a photographer to come out, and I pay a couple other people to come do things. So like, I need to make that to pay these
Right.
people, or it comes out of my own pocket and I just lose everything. I got a return on you for making the designs. So like right off the bat, I'm 800 in the pot, and that's just the start.
Yeah.
So like your money back that you have to try to make, make sure nobody gets in fights, make sure everybody's happy, make sure everybody's paid what they need to pay as far as entry fees, make sure people get their money that need to get their money. I definitely get it. And that's just a small show. So what would be something he's dealing with down there in It's Nashville, right?
Yep, Nashville.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. And you have to have a team put together, which is
Oh, yeah.
hard. And which
Yeah,
is hard. So go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think as far as with the team and as far as business in general, finding people to work with you that work well with you, can understand what you think and how you want things done, and have a good work ethic. Impossible is close. It's very, very difficult, but it is achievable. But yeah, having that team is like, it's your make or break it. Like, I've got one girl, it's actually my brother's sister, or I'm my brother's sister, my brother's girlfriend. I do that so much, I don't know why. Yeah, she's been working with me since last October, and even that one person allows me to do this right here: step away from the production, step away from the emails for a bit, the design work for a bit. Because if you don't have those people, yeah, you can't get really anything done. But a big team allows you to almost be in a million places at once.
Right. And that is important, and you have to have it. But yeah. Well, we got a few more minutes here, and I want to push into these questions before we run out of time. Ellie Marie, interesting. That's my wife's name. She didn't ask this question. Ellie Marie 73 asked, have you ever wanted to change your username?
That is such a good question. I actually, I had changed it once for like 0.5 seconds, and then I was like, oh my God, someone's gonna take my old name, and then I'd be afraid if I didn't get it back. But it was the 7-3 meme queen, because I thought I was being so funny posting all these memes. But no, I actually have never really thought about it or needed to. But my same account has had a few different usernames back in its day before I had the truck, though.
No, I think you own this one pretty well.
My watering so bad. I'm gonna turn this light off, and I'm gonna see if that helps. Okay, it's probably gonna be a little dark though. That's better.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, I can't really tell the difference.
Okay, sweet. That's all that matters.
No, I think you own this name pretty well. And whenever she asked that question, I was like, I hope she hasn't ever thought about that. It's like, people own their usernames really well. Like, some people, you got to be distinct. Like, if people throw something generic, like I said with the OBS obsession stuff, like,
right,
everybody and their brother.
Yeah.
So like, you being 7-3 queen, like, there's a face to the name. People get it and they go. I feel like my name is it's away from everyone else.
I agree.
Without getting away from the truck, I don't think I'll ever change my name and even think about it.
Confusing. Yeah, like some people change it all the time, which I guess if you have a big enough following and they like know how to find you, there's really no worry in that. But yeah, aside from the fact of like worrying about losing the availability of people being able to find you if they want to reach out to you, that would be tough. But yeah, it's also really good for just branding in general to stay with the same name. Less confusion.
No, no, 100%. Like, I don't think if you change, like, you will lose people just because that's how people remembered you. Especially like Dude Lovejoy. Like, that is
Right.
such a stick out name.
Yep.
You're not gonna lose track of that. So that was a good question. I thought that
Yeah, I like that one.
made me think too. Last one. It's not even a question. Kylie Morgan, 2508, said, "Love your truck."
Ah, thanks, Kylie.
You know who that is?
I don't know. Mm-mm. I know El Marie though.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's
Yes,
L, not Ellie.
I think it's Elle. I hope it's Elle, or else I'll feel bad for like not knowing the right name this whole time. But no, she's a customer of mine, and yeah, we've gone back and forth the messages a few times. She's also really sweet.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Um,
us girls with the OBSs, we're pretty tight. I feel like a lot of us stay in touch, which I think is super cool.
so speaking of that and your groups that you like your group messages that you guys have, I
Yes.
noticed that you started or somebody has started um something like women support women. Um, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. So Lacey Blair had came out with the Badass Women Support Badass Women. Yes,
Yes.
that is like one of her biggest and best, I don't even know what you want to call it. I guess slogans. I don't really think it's like the slogan for her company, but
Mhm.
it might as well be. But yeah, she came out with that. And I think that was one of the greatest things to come to the industry because I think it truly did shift the mindset of a lot of people and helped a lot of women too that kind of felt in the wrong place, Like I know a lot of girls who don't have guy friends that have trucks, which is so sad to me because I don't understand why they view them as like competition or just think it's like dumb that they're doing what they're doing. Um, but yeah, that was Lacey's doing for sure.
No, that's funny you say that. Like, I feel like there is a group of women out there. Like, I feel like you, Lacey, a couple other people. I hate this stupid thing. You and Lacey have definitely are people who even men look up to as far as the push and the drive. And like, I've talked to girls personally before that I would ask them a question about their build and they would hit me with an answer that I'm just like, okay, what? Like, you know, way beyond me. And,
Yeah, I
they,
think the men not really thinking that we should be doing what we're doing in this industry kind of gives us a little bit of a push and a drive to really know our because we know that they're going to question us. We're going to think that everything that we do or the things that we do is wrong or there's another way to be done. But yeah, no, I think that's pretty cool though that you've had that encounter.
yeah, no, it is. And I've never had that opinion because, like, I grew up an athlete my whole entire life. Like, I didn't have time to tinker around with this stuff. Like, I obviously had my grandfather's truck in high school. If I wouldn't have had that and it broke down so many times and stuff
Right.
fall off, then I would know nothing. But
Right.
now, like, I know a lot. And I've had a lot of friends in the past, like, help me with this build. And now I have the confidence to really do whatever I want to this thing. Um,
That's so
so, like,
awesome.
I respect the whole entire thing. And for whenever I had that encounter with that girl, that was definitely like I hope she gets with the right guy and she shows
Right.
him up.
Right. And
Definitely.
us do.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I would definitely have a I would love to see like somebody go around and I think they should make a YouTube channel where a girl just like kind of acts clueless, goes up to these guys who they know are just like know-it-alls, and then just
Oh, we should do that. Go up to the truck shows and get like those little mics, like, so tell me the difference between your gears or blah, 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 or what gears do you even have? Like, just throw off numbers that they totally act like they would know and then they actually don't. Yeah.
absolutely. I
Yeah,
think
that
that'd
would be
be
fun.
hilarious.
That's
Okay,
like
well we
a thing, too.
oh it'd be hilarious, hilarious. Well, we've got 1 minute and a half or a minute and a half left. 1 minute and a half. We got a minute and a half left. Last question, and then I'm gonna have to like just quickly get you out of here.